Hi, welcome to my review of Killing Them Softly, directed by Andrew Dominic and starring Brad Pitt. What happens in Killing Them Softly is the local criminal economy collapses after a couple of amateurs rob a mob card game. Jackie Cogan, who's played by Brad Pitt, is hired by the mob to restore balance back in their criminalized world. Okay, so first off, I'm going to be upfront and honest with you guys. I had somewhat of a difficult time following this film. In the film, there's a lot of expository dialogue, and there's a lot of dialogue in general, kind of like a Tarantino film in a way, although I don't think it's as good as a Tarantino film, but that's just my opinion. So there's a lot of explaining, like I just said, and there's a lot of dialogue, like I just said. And because of this, I got a little bored. And because I got bored, I kind of drifted off a little bit. So when some important information was given, I might have missed it. However, there is this one scene in particular why I know I got lost. There's this scene of a guy having this heroin trip. It starts out pretty cool with all these, these cool little effects. The screen keeps on fading in and out. It starts out cool, but then eventually, within no time, it gets annoying as hell. Eventually, there is some very important information that is given, and I couldn't even understand what was going on because of this hallucinogen effect, and it got on my nerves. It actually kind of pissed me off, actually. I was just kind of like, enough already, you know? I also want to take a second to mention the message that is given in this film, or really towards, I guess, the end of the film. And I thought it was kind of cool. Some people might get a little pissed at it. I don't know. I kind of liked it, but that's just me. You'll know what I'm talking about when or if you see it. And speaking of the ending, this film has the most abrupt ending I've ever seen in my entire life. And not only that, but the film clocks at around an hour and 40 minutes. So it's a pretty short film. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just something worth noting. In Killing Them Softly, there are a lot of actors. I'm just going to read them off here. Brad Pitt, Scoot McNairy, you might have seen him in Argo. Ben Mendelsohn, you might have seen him as Daggett in The Dark Knight Rises. James Gandolfini, Richard Jenkins, Vincent Curatola, and Ray Liotta. You would probably assume that the film has great acting, and you know what? It does. However, the standouts are Brad Pitt and Ben Mendelsohn. Brad Pitt, nothing really much to say about him. He's always great. He's great. But back on Ben Mendelsohn, I want to say this real quick. The makeup artist that did his makeup, I don't know what they did, but they put grease in all his hair, and the guy looks disgusting. He looks absolutely nasty, and you could even smell the dude. I mean, that's how disgusting he looked. And it's amazing to see him in this film and compare him to The Dark Knight Rises, where he looks all clean and, I guess, fashionable and all that. In short, he looked like shit. I want to talk about James Gandolfini for a second. He is great in the film. However, his character, I could not care less for. There are long scenes with him kind of talking and describing his life, all the troubles that he's had and all this BS. And the film tries to get you to have this emotional connection towards that character. And it just doesn't work. Gandolfini's character was obnoxious, rude, and a piece of shit. So overall, I don't give a damn. I want to mention the cinematography really quick. It's nothing amazing. It's not going to get nominated for any awards or anything like that. But it is really cool with some really cool shots that you don't usually see in movies. But there is one shot in particular that is really, really cool. And it's a slow-mo shot. And I can't say what happens, but all I can say is it's beautiful yet unsettling. And speaking of unsettling, I have to talk about the great sound design. Now this very well has a shot, at least in my opinion, on actually scoring a nod from the Oscars this year. The sound design is the star of the show. When people are getting shot, when people are getting punched, when people are getting kicked, you can feel it through the sound. In my opinion, that is the definition of great sound design. Overall, Killing Them Softly has some great performances and great sound design. However, the writing is somewhere in the middle. Some of the dialogue is good, some of it's not. And because of this, parts of the film are boring. So I'm going to give my rating now. I give Killing Them Softly a 3.5 out of 5. If you want to see it, go see it. If you don't want to see it, wait till it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray. Thanks for watching.